to a Gem of a Secret podcast. My name's Donatella Mysecrets.
And my name is Coco Gem Holiday.
How you doing tonight, Coco?
I'm doing really good today. I'm really recognizing that I'm not going to let people just keep effing with my peace. Good Lord.
That's so important.
That is so stupid important. And I know that feels very, like, junction vibey and whatever, but, like, at the same time, I've really... It's almost like a muscle. It's funny. I haven't unpacked this in my brain yet, but I've been thinking about it. Having people not mess with your peace is a muscle that you have to actually exercise. Like, you can say all day long that you're like, the next time it happens, I'm not going to let somebody mess with me or whatever. But then you get into the situation and it's literally messing with you because you haven't exercised the muscle.
Yeah.
Like, and then I recognize I had an incident recently, again, after all the stuff I went through, that where it was like kind of toxic and whatever. And actually, I just got one like 20 minutes ago.
Really?
Yeah, just like 20 minutes ago. I didn't even share it in the group chat.
So how often are you getting these toxic messages after taking the role of event manager at local?
At this point, daily now.
Daily?
Yeah, daily. And they're not like messages. Sometimes they're incidents.
Incidents. Oh, okay.
Incidents.
So always something.
There's always something.
Always some fire that is having to be put out.
Yeah, there's always some fire.
Yeah.
Because not everything is like super toxic, and like so today's incident that I just got 20 minutes ago. It's funny. I didn't even send it in the group chat, and I don't necessarily think that that's necessarily a bad or a good thing to send in our friend group chat or whatever to say this is the next thing that's happening. It's just that
it's good to have the support of your friends.
It is good to have the support of my friends, but I also realized it didn't mess with my peace because like it was like a trial by fire, like getting thrown back into the fire, being like, to be like, hey, like, do you really that phrase that I was trying to live by, like, if people aren't paying your bills, like, pay them no mind.
Pay them no mind, as RuPaul would say.
As RuPaul would say, you know, and what other people think of you is none of your business.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's the best way to live. You could also just like cut everyone out and become an entire like hermit like me, and just, you know.
That's also a reality. That's also some truth to that can get you through.
You could just drop off the face of the earth or the social media landscape like I have. I seriously, like, TikTok and Instagram are all I have now.
Gosh, I don't use Instagram really anymore. Really? I don't even try.
Yeah.
I feel like such a boomer when it comes to that. Like I open it and I'm just like, I should post a picture.
It has become so much more of like a shopping app now. I don't really like where it's gone, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it's the only social media I have. I'm just like slowly phasing it all out until I become like a cottage witch in the woods, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't know. There's just not. Gosh, and even TikTok, like, I'm stuck. I'm getting into lesbian TikTok right now, which I think lesbian TikTok is a lot better than gay TikTok, just by far.
Yeah.
But like everything, even the activist stuff on TikTok is really good.
Mine's all like stop line 3 right now.
I was just there like a week ago.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
mine's all stop line 3. That's all it is. It's a heavy like indigenous activism TikTok right now, which is great. I love seeing that on my For You page because I feel like I'm becoming better educated about these types of things. So, stop line 3. It's terrible. We need to protect our natural resources and give natives their land back.
Mine, the recent stuff that I just got off of, and it was commentary on commentary, and I hate, because right before you seem to get out of a TikTok, it's like you start getting into like people being like, okay, well, maybe we're like, it's like a critique on how people are doing the movement right before you switch off of that TikTok. And that's where you always get like, oh, that does make kind of sense. I could see how that might be detrimental when people are saying it that way or trying to portray the message that way. And then it makes you feel really confused inside. And then you're like, oh, maybe that person was being a little bit too loud, or maybe that person was being a little bit off base or something like that. And then you move on to a different TikTok and then you're just like, okay, well, I'm over here now.
I like when they give you like real solutions on things that you can do. Like, they like give you a phone number that you can call, and or petitions that you can sign at the very least. Stuff, yeah. At the very least, you know, I like when there's like a call to action at least.
I do like a call to action. Call to actions are so important.
They are.
I did just watch this. I wasn't even planning to say this today. I just finished because I don't know how recent it was, but I did see it shared recently on Facebook. There was an incident with this black woman, and I watched the video, which it was heartbreaking. I started crying. It was this incident about three black girls, 3 or 4 black girls or whatever, and this cop. The video starts with like this cop on top of this black girl, like just pinning her to the ground, and she looked fairly young. I don't know how young she was, but she looked fairly young, and like she was like foaming at the mouth because she just couldn't breathe, and like
I did see that.
yeah, and it just and like her mom, it said her mom was like holding her hand, trying to like calm her down because she was just freaking out.
Yeah.
And then like then she was in cuffs, you're walking away, and like I think the mom said or did something, and so then they, they threw her to the ground, and it was all aggressive and horrible. And then pinned her, and then like she's trying to explain what's happening, and the friends are trying to explain what happened. Oh yeah, so there was 4 of them, 4 black girls, and they're trying to explain what was happening, and really it just sounded like I was reading online. They're like the cops got called on them for just like walking, I guess. Somebody called the cops because they said they were like jumping in front of cars or something like that. I think it's what somebody said, and watching the video was horrific.
Yeah, it was awful. It was just another horrible display of police brutality in this country, and we live in a police state, so
yeah. Gosh, I know. I know that we do a lot of interviews on our show now, and we haven't had a lot of opportunity to do some updates, and we are still going to do an interview this episode. A little surprise for you guys before we go to our break. But there are just like so many changes happening right now in the world that we kind of haven't gone over in like a long time. Like the Delta variant is super scary. Mask recommendations came back.
Yeah, that's all been scary to kind of like keep up with. It is nice knowing the like effectiveness of certain vaccines. We talked about that a little bit in I think our last episode in our intro, but yeah, just with like the Delta variant going around, I think more people are getting vaccinated because it's highly contagious. It's more contagious than the original strain that was going around. So yeah, just people need to make sure that they're protecting themselves. Keep wearing your masks. You can still get sick.
Yeah.
You can still get quite ill from the Delta variant if you're vaccinated.
Right.
But, it is 90-something% effective from keeping you out of the hospital. So, and that's for the Pfizer vaccine. But, yeah.
Right. So,
just be smart.
Are you wearing, is your workplace requiring you wear masks?
No, not yet.
Mine is not either, and I think what's interesting about that, so here's it's like a political debate.
Yeah.
Because we're getting canceled. Locals kind of getting canceled online a little bit because of people are thinking that they should require masks. So we're requiring masks inside.
Yeah.
We're doing that. Based on the CDC's recommendation.
I think that's good for close spaces.
I do too, but I also like work in an office building, and we haven't had any recommendations come out yet about whether or not we're gonna move forward, and that kind of bothers me and to a degree. And I think what's really uncomfortable is like being accountable to a queer community space on a public level has just been really hard in that capacity.
Yeah.
Because like having to make those decisions as quickly as we have to make them is also really challenging.
Yeah.
But something really powerful did happen, and I don't know if I told you about this, but the reality hit me. We had a RuPaul's Drag Race girl here this last weekend, and when I was hosting during the show, I actually said on the microphone, which I didn't know I was gonna say. Somebody had said that locals should not allow anybody in to the patio or because remember the recommendation was for masks inside.
Yeah.
And we have a patio, right?
Yeah.
So we're different than like all the other queer spaces, especially because we can throw events on our patio.
Yeah.
Somebody had written saying you should not allow any unvaccinated people in to the patio or inside. at all, period.
Yeah.
So just blocking access, and a lot of spaces in Portland are doing that. And
Where they have to have like their vaccine card on them.
Yes, and if you are not vaccinated, you are not allowed in. So it's kind of, there are a lot of arguments, positive and negative, about that, but I basically had got on the microphone and I said that is not a direction that Local Lounge will be going in, because as it stands right now, that 40% of Black people are only 40% of Black people in Portland are vaccinated right now. And blocking access to nightlife to Black people on a street named Martin Luther King is just really uncomfortable to me.
Yes.
Specifically because there's not enough access for Black people to get vaccinated. Regardless of what people say, there are still barriers to the Black and brown communities getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
So it just like, and as I said that, and I actually had people come up to me and say thank you for explaining it, because a lot of people got highly uncomfortable when I said that.
Really?
When I said that we won't be doing that because it's a privilege to get vaccinated. And people got, the tension was palpable when I said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It is true. It is true. And it's important that people understand that. You know, there are different challenges in healthcare for POC in this country.
Yeah.
And people need to look outside themselves.
Yeah, and it was a powerful moment.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I forgot. We didn't talk about what we're wearing. So, Donna, what are you wearing this evening?
Oh, I said that I wanted to be a witch of the woods, so I just dressed as a witch of the woods. Yeah, you know, just I have my 15 cats, and I'm sitting here just growing my own produce and away from everyone, because that's like my happy place.
Cute.
What about you? See, I even have the cackle down.
I am wearing all Black Lives Matter flags as a swimsuit. But since they're made in non-stretch fabric, that's why it looks so bunchy.
I love a statement.
I love a statement piece.
It looks great.
Yeah, and I have a cute little headpiece that I love. It's just cute. And I'm just like rocking my fantasy right now.
I dig it. I dig it.
It's just
groovy.
a little statement piece. I have to say, because we talked about this earlier on an episode, listeners, and I wanted to talk about real quickly right before we hit our break, since we're kind of doing a little bit of updates since we haven't done this in a bit, is me and Donna were on this sobriety journey, and mine was an unknown actually at the time about whether or not I could drink ever again, and I did find out that I can. But the one thing that I did find out, listeners, is that Mama gained all the available weight in the United States, and my doctor called me fat. And she's like, you have to lose weight now. And I was like, oh, and it's like, that seems really harsh. She's like, well, you're the one who's fat, not me. So I was like, okay, cute.
Did she say that?
No. But she had the look in her face. I know she wanted to say it. But yeah, no, so I need to lose some weight. I gained a lot of weight. My favorite thing in the world to do is nothing. And during COVID, because drag was canceled, I did my favorite thing.
It's your Taurus moon.
I just love doing nothing. Food, sex, and money. And so yeah, I ate all the food. I sat on the couch. I watched everything on the internet, and I just had the best time. Yeah. So, yeah, gotta lose some weight and gotta help my liver with that. And
I have to eat a high fiber diet. So I was picking blackberries in the backyard before we recorded.
That's so funny. So that's where I'm at in my health journey, and I'll give you guys some updates about how that goes. We have some really good, my doctor gave me some really good tips and tricks about my new lifestyle with working at a nightlife bar, about what to do with meals and food. And it was really some good stuff. So maybe we'll do a health episode in the future.
Yeah.
Because Donna did a fitness journey actually a while ago. That might actually be really interesting for a lot of folks to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to ask Donna, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, Coco, I will let you know after this brief commercial break. Dun dun, drag race. Oh, We don't want to get sued for copyright, but you know what? I'm really in the mood to watch some Drag Race.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, there is a beautiful place to watch Drag Race every week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, at Local Lounge at 6 o'clock p.m. every Thursday, you can get a first look at Drag Race.
Oh my gosh, and currently we're on All-Star Season 6?
Yeah, All-Star Season 6 is premiering right now, and we have performances that happen throughout the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. You can buy drinks, hang out with your friends, and just get to experience some buffoonery happening at the bar.
Some buffoonery. Not even buffoonery. It's your own made-up word.
I know, just like a queen from Drag Race.
Yes, catchphrase. What happens after Drag Race?
After Drag Race, it goes straight into drag queen karaoke.
Yes.
So you can sing with your friends, get some cocktails, and party all night long. We have microphone condoms now that you can wear, but masks are not required if you are fully vaccinated.
Fully vaccinated.
I guess we'll see you there.
Yep, see you there.
It's a podcast with Coco and Donatella podcast. Tune into What They Tell You podcast with Coco and Donatella podcast.
Well, Coco, I am feeling, honestly, like this next guest is kind of garbage. Like, kind of just like a absolute POS. No, I'm just kidding.
And I feel like she's really secretive. Like, she doesn't like to tell her secrets for any reason.
I do.
Except she lies because she tells all her stupid secrets.
I do.
I mean, she just likes to talk.
I do. I feel like that was mostly when I drank. But yes, I'm being interviewed. Hi.
Yes, Donatella, my secret. Hi, Donna. Say hi to the kids.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, the funny thing about that name that I always used to say is that it's like the exact opposite of how I was when I was in drag and very drunk, is I would like tell everyone my life story and I would listen to everyone else's too. And I would often end up drunk at the end of a night with a stranger, talking to them about their lives and talking to them about my life.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be I am going to be interviewing Donna as our special guest today. So doing it all in the same way that I've been doing our guests. So let's start this way. So where did your drag name come from and how long have you been performing?
Well, my drag name came from, actually there was this show called Drag You that RuPaul did where there would be like cis women that would get like made up by drag queens. And there was this one queen that ended up getting the name Donna Telling Me What to Do or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I like plays on words. At this point, I'd been watching Drag Race for a while and stuff, and I was really into drag. And I decided that that would be good because it was kind of like the feminine version. Donatella is kind of like the feminine version of my name I go by in my everyday life. And so I liked that. And then I liked Mysecrets because it's, you know, mysterious. And I feel like it fit like the whole femme fatale aspect of my drag. And then what was the second question?
The second question is how long you've been performing.
How long have I been performing? As long as you. 7, 8 years? What? Something like that?
8 to 9.
8 to 9? Okay. That long.
Yeah, that long. Tell me about what is one like bit of advice that you would give to new entertainers starting out?
Don't take it personally. Don't take anything personally. Like, people will read you because you need to be read when you're starting out. And even today, like, there are constantly things I'm learning about how I can do things better with my drag. And don't take it personally when someone is like, hey, gives you a suggestion. Because I feel like even up until like a year, like 2 years ago, I took things like incredibly personally. And that will only hinder your growth, I think, if you take everything that everyone else has to say personally.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So this is a good one for you. What would you today tell yourself in your first year of drag?
Easy on the white powder.
Yay.
And the white contacts, and harder on the contour.
How would the you of back then received those comments?
Not well. Not fucking well.
Yeah, Donna back in the day thought she was Taylor Momsen. And
I did.
She kind of looked like her a little bit, but...
I looked scary because I'd wear those white contacts with the white powder, and people were, like, always, like, scared of the way I looked. They weren't really ever, like... It took some time for people to be like, oh, she's sexy, too. Because the legs, I guess, you know. That's something.
You did have legs for days. You did have legs for days.
I have, like, muscly legs.
What have you learned about performing in girl groups? Because you're one of the very few people that have been on our podcast who's actually ever performed in girl groups.
Yeah. Well, I performed in a few iterations of girl groups at this point. I feel we've had like a lot of different. It's always been with you.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
What have I learned? That it's extremely difficult. It's very hard to do. I'm the type of person who looks at drag as art, and I would like to do things that aren't always in line with what my peers are doing necessarily. So it's kind of hard for me to feel like that individualism sometimes when I'm in a group. But it is fun. It is definitely great. Like, the feeling of performing in a group is very fun during a show because you get, like, that rush that I feel like I used to have always as an entertainer when I was performing with, like, an ensemble cast in, like, a musical or in show choir or something like that. It's always, like, that awesome, like, fun energy that you get when you're performing, and especially if it's well rehearsed and people are taking it seriously.
Yeah, actually, as normally in these interviews I don't try to comment too much, but I will say that I do mirror that sentiment, because we never really did talk about girl groups on this show before either. But yeah, that I think I do miss that, because it's just been a really long time to get that rush of, like, the girl group rush, when you're, like, done with a really well-rehearsed number.
A well-rehearsed number, like the one that we did at Pride with Natalie and Adam. Oh, it was so good.
Oh, that was such a fun
so much
number.
Fun. And we stuck it to them, and we made a lot of money.
It was so much money. Oh, that was such a good...
It was such a good year. I mean, it was our last year ever doing Pride.
Yeah, that was good.
But
that was really, really good. And the one that we recently just did at the Milwaukee Pride Fest, Porch Fest.
Yeah,
those were good group numbers too.
That was fun.
I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
What was my next question? How has it been dating when it comes to the intersection of drag and being your out of drag persona?
That's hard, because I feel like I'm a gender non-conforming person. I don't feel like I'm cisgender.
Okay.
I came out as, like, gender fluid many years ago when I still had a drag Facebook. So that's something that I feel like I'm still kind of exploring my own identity in my, like, everyday life when it comes to expressing myself. And the reason why I talk about my gender expression when it comes to dating is because I've found a lot of the time that people are very drawn to me when I'm, like, more femme presenting. And I think I feel a certain degree of, like, comfort in being femme presenting in a lot of ways.
I wonder if it has anything to do with confidence. Everybody always talks about the confidence.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, maybe it is that. Maybe it is that whole, you know, euphoria that you experience. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't know. I think dating, as far as doing drag, having that as, like, an extra layer, it was definitely difficult when I was performing a lot, because I was drinking a lot. And I don't think that I was, like, also, like, an extremely, like, stable and dateable person all those times. I feel like nowadays, like, I'm getting there, but I had a lot of work to do on myself. And also I was just, like, because of that, I was choosing a lot of the wrong people that were never going to be good partners for someone who was living the lifestyle I was living.
what is your pinnacle point of drag? What do you think will be your high point? Is it Drag Race? Is it Dragula? Is it an album? Is it a movie career? Or like, if it was like the dream point, like if it that somebody picks you and you're like, oh my god, that's the dream.
I would like to like have a small role in something. I would like to act in something, even if it is just like an indie movie or something like that. I want to have like my own little corner of the world, my own little slice of pop culture, like my own little slice of the internet, the web, or whatever it is that just kind of like lives on forever. So if that were me like in an indie movie, or if that were me like singing and recording a song, which I have like helped co-write some songs, and I've also like helped out with some other like writing projects and stuff before, but unfortunately just haven't really like come to fruition. I would like to do something like that. I would like to have my own little slice of pop culture. That's like my only goal really with drag.
It's interesting. That's actually really cool. And what I'm seeing is like there's these little because like we have friends now that are moving to Portland that have performed drag all over the country, and there are nuggets now. People are recognizing that there's so many really talented drag artists across that, and the sad thing is they're all Drag Race girls that are starting these projects, but they're starting really big projects across the entire country, like like Eureka and Bob have their show that they did, and I think the funny thing is it all kind of always still started with RuPaul. Like RuPaul did AJ and the Queen, and like now these other shows are popping up, and then there's now all of these competition shows that are still in the hush hush that are popping up, that are going to be WoW Presents competition shows, and like just because I've seen the flyers for them coming out, and I don't know who's going to be in charge of those, and then all the other drag races that popped up, and so I think that there will be a market that for other drag artists to hopefully raise that booking fee a little bit. Good heavens.
I don't know. I think drag is just ever evolving, and there's all sorts of different ways that you can get exposure as a queen. There was so much drag that was before Drag Race, where people were like their own independent artists, and I think just eventually I would like to get at that point, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. What will be your permanent retirement? What do you see? What's that point looking like? Like, so say the dream doesn't happen.
Yeah.
When is it like, okay, I'm done. I'm done now. Are you one of those people like, I'll probably always be dabbling in some way with drag for the rest of my life?
I think I'll always be dabbling with makeup. Will I always be like dabbling with the persona of Donatella Mysecrets? I don't know. But I'll always be like dabbling with makeup and art. Yeah. I don't know how long I want Donatella to go on for. Right now, it's like the only social media presence I have. So it's like, I feel like Donatella is me, I don't know. I couldn't really see myself as far as like drag goes going by a different name or anything like that. I've never thought about like renaming myself to go by something else and like reinventing myself in that way, but I don't know.
I recently just as a side note, I recently got some news that Donatella knows about that might change the entire scope of my future. I find out here soon. And if that does happen, there does become more of a in date with drag for me.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things I'd like to do with my husband.
Yeah. For your future.
Yeah, for my future. And being 35 years old, there is just like, but if those things don't happen, I'll probably be doing drag for a lot longer. So I get that. Because the thing is, like, I do love dabbling in makeup, and I love the creativity side of drag. But but for me, I think it's always been about the performance side. That's why, like, getting a new costume has never been the most exciting part, or sewing has never been the most exciting part, or baking a mix has never been the most exciting part.
Yeah.
What is your favorite number to perform?
Ooh. Well, I think the one that I perform probably the most in Portland would be Pancake by Jaded featuring Ash Nico. Yeah. I think that's probably the one I perform the most. But I also really, let's see, I love La Disco by Shiny Toy Guns. I also really like Decepticon by Latigra, I think is how you say her name. And I also really like Not About You by Haiku Hands. It's all like weird electronic alternative music because I'm different. I'm not like other girls.
I'm different.
No, it's just music that I vibe with. I like that kind of stuff. So I like performing it because it's fierce and it like kind of fits like the whole like I'm a strong lady kind of persona.
Yeah, you're definitely a femme fatale.
Yeah.
Definitely a femme fatale. Do you think that you'll ever adopt any more drag children?
No. That's a hell no.
She's like, hell no for 500 Bob.
I mean, I don't know. I would like to like teach people what I know, I guess, but I haven't ever really like felt the need to be like, you're my baby, you're my child, and I'm gonna like, you know, teach you. I think if I saw something in like another entertainer that reminded me of myself, then I'd be like, let me teach you a lesson.
Good heavens, she sounded, wow.
Let me teach you a lesson, sweetie. Back in my day, no.
Gosh.
But I don't know. I don't think I really want to be like a drag mother. I would be more than happy to tell my secrets though, if someone really wanted to know them.
So I get to ask the fun question now. Mm-hmm. So if you were ever in a bar fight, who in the Portland drag community would you ever want to be on your side?
Definitely Atlas. As one of them. Atlas for sure. I feel like Kimber would be great.
Kimber would be great.
Because Kimber having your back, you know what? It would be like the best case scenario because I think that Kimber can really tell people about themselves.
It's true.
She has that ability.
Yeah.
And then for my third one, I would say someone like Honey, but I don't know. I don't feel like Honey would really want to fight. She would probably just like look at them and then they'd turn to stone. Valerie DeVille. Let's say Valerie. Oh, Valerie's is really no nonsense. So I think she'd also tell them about themselves. Yes. So yeah, I'd say Valerie as my third. Vicious. Yeah, she would just cut them with her words. I've never seen Valerie fight, but I think that would be a good lineup.
That is a good lineup, honestly. Yeah. Gosh, I would love to have Kimber in my corner.
Yeah.
Let's see. That kind of brings us closer to the end of our episode. What other things would you like people to know about the future of Donatella Mysecrets?
I want people to know that I'm not really going to be performing in... I've said this before on the podcast, but my sobriety when it comes to drinking is extremely important to me, and I'm putting that before entertaining right now. So going forward, that's kind of going to be... not kind of going to be, that is going to be my new normal. So I won't be performing at bars. I don't think I have a thriving fan base of people who are like waiting to see me, but I also just like want them to know that like I will have like occasional shows outside of bar venues, and then eventually when I do get the confidence to be in a space like that and not feel like I'm going to just cave from the social anxiety and want to drink or try and like numb the pain because I'm in drag and drag fucking hurts and I make an excuse and try to have a drink, then like I won't be really performing in bars until I can kind of like feel comfortable not making excuses for myself and holding myself accountable in those spaces. So I guess that's one thing I want people to know is like I'm not done with drag, but I want people to know that my health and my sobriety are going ahead of being an entertainer, and that has not been the case in a long time. And like loving myself is coming first now, and not hurting myself and having shitty coping mechanisms. So yeah,
I love that.
Well,
that brings us to the end of our episode, listeners.
Yeah.
This has been a little bit of a look at Donatella Mysecrets and what she's been up to.
Wow.
And maybe we'll call this episode Coping Mechanisms and Interview with Donatella Mysecrets. Maybe that's a good one.
Telling her secrets.
Telling her secrets. That's a lot better. Let's do that one.
Telling her secrets. Coping mechanisms.
Telling her secrets.
Telling her secrets.
Coping mechanisms. That's a good drag name. Coping mechanism. There's a drag name in there somewhere. I'll figure it out.
So coping mechanism. I don't know.
Coping. That's such a weird
Corbin mechanism.
Corbin. Oh, there it is. Corbin mechanism. There you go.
I don't know.
Well, thanks, listeners. Tune in every Thursday, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
This has been another episode of A Gem of a Secret podcast. The hosts of A Gem of a Secret podcast are Donatella Mysecrets and Coco Gem Holiday. You may follow Donatella Mysecrets at Donatella_Mysecrets on Instagram. You may follow Coco Gem Holiday at Coco Gem Holiday on Instagram. Original music by Touche Douche and Party Favors. You can follow them respectively at The Touche Douche and at Party Favors Music on Instagram. For more exclusive content, visit www.agemofasecretpodcast.com. That is AJEM of a secret podcast.com. Be sure to tune in every week on Thursday for a new episode wherever you listen to podcasts. If you have any comments or questions, email us at agemofasecretpod@gmail.com. Please don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.